Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Big Red Pregame Show. This is the St. Benedict edition. I'm your host, Walker Kane. I'm joined here by my co-host, Woodson Weathersby, and special guest, fullback Haynes Owen Haynes. Welcome on.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here. Heard a lot about the show. Just excited to be here.
So, the Big Red are coming off a tough loss against Pearl Cone. The first time we've lost to Pearl Cone in a while. Game kind of close, low scoring, came down to the wire at the end. The main takeaway from an outsider perspective watching the game is that looks like protection might need to step up a little bit. There were some plays where Tyrone was able to step up and make some big plays, but a lot of them, especially late, he was getting hit pretty hard every time he threw it. It's hard for any quarterback to complete passes when he's getting hit as he's throwing. So I think there's a lot of positives, but if we could get a cleaner pocket for Tyrone, I think that could have a big impact. What do you see, Wood?
Yeah, the defense is looking great. Offense, we just need a couple more yards per carry. We're only averaging around like 2.7 yards per carry, and it would help both sides of the ball if we could get some more yards per carry. And, I feel like we have potential to turn it around and get on the right
what do you
foot.
see on the field?
Yeah, well, anybody could have saw it from the game. Protection's the main thing. The O-line, we got the players to do it. We just got to come together and execute. And on the running attack, we watched the film, and it was one player every time, one block away from just a huge gain. So if we just protect and come off the ball, we'll be good. We'll be in good shape for this week.
So you, Haynes, had a big game. We saw you had a receiving touchdown. You had to reach out for the pylon. Everybody loves to see it. So
great.
A lot of people have been talking after this game that you've been showing a lot of resemblance of John Kuhn, and that's not just here. That's all over high school football in Tennessee. What does it feel like to hear those words?
Well, first off, it's a tremendous honor. Packers legend John Kuhn, 3-0 on the chest. I don't think any football fan could have hated when you see 30 going in for the Lambeau Leap.
Mm-hmm.
The Cheeseheads love him. He's just got great fundamentals, great blocks, and then on the goal line, that FB dive or the pass, it's automatic. So to be in that company, it's just it's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So switching gears now, we're going to talk about this weekend's college football. Great weekend of college football. Walker, what did you see this weekend?
So this weekend was actually, I was very interested to see. There's a lot of question marks surrounding it. A lot of QBs entered the transfer portal. So the main guy that I was pleased with, not Justin Fields, but Jacob Eason from Washington. He was from Georgia. He was very good freshman year. Got beat out by Jake Fromm the year after. Everybody knows Jake Fromm now. Very prominent QB. I was curious to see what Eason could do, and he proved everything I thought he was. He had great deep ball. He has a huge arm. He was able to make some elite throws. So I'm very impressed to see how he can do moving forward, but overall, he was the main guy that he kind of went under the radar because they were playing a bad team. And I know against bad teams, people often discredit great plays, but there's some throws that no matter who you're playing are always going to be good throws. What'd you see, Haynes?
Well, yeah, my spotlight player probably I would say Justin Fields. 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's probably a perfect game from your quarterback.
Yeah.
New coach Ryan Day with the Buckeyes. They look like they're in full gear still. I know they played a lesser opponent, but Fields was throwing the ball. And then just team-wise, I think everybody in the state of Tennessee was disappointed in the performance by the Vols. It was distasteful, honestly. Georgia State coming off a 2-10 season. No one could have predicted that loss. I think they might bounce back versus BYU, but just not a good look in Knoxville so far.
Yeah, Knoxville's not looking good. But my personal favorite this weekend was Bo Nix, true freshman, coming out and clutching up and winning the game for Auburn. That was a great game to end college football for on Saturday, and I loved it. And I'm a big Bo Nix fan, and it was awesome.
Bo Nix, he did not play a great game to start, but really turned it on in the fourth. Honorable mention has to be Jalen Hurts. I was a big fan of him at Alabama, going for 500 yards, 6 touchdowns in his debut against a team that won 8 games last year. I was very impressed by him. I would think Oklahoma, he's my Heisman favorite.
Yeah, Heisman watch right there. Him, Justin Fields, the Wisconsin running back Jonathan Taylor also. Don't sleep on him. Huge game, carried Wisconsin to a 49-0 victory against USF when the spread was only 11.5. So, I think Jonathan Taylor is legit. I think he's the best running back in the country so far.
Yeah, he's been looking good. So this weekend we got some great games. So we have BYU at UT in Knoxville again, so that'll be interesting. And then we also have Texas A&M versus Clemson at Clemson, which is a huge one, and then LSU at Texas. So first we'll start with BYU at UT. What I'm interested to see is I think both teams are incredibly subpar. I watched BYU in the Holy War. Did not see too much from them against, I think it was Utah.
Yeah.
But then again, they're UT, as you mentioned, 2-10 Georgia State. It's tough to recover from that one. I think they can do it. I think Jeremy Pruitt's a good enough coach. But I'm probably just saying that because he's an Alabama guy.
Yeah.
But I think UT should be able to get it together. Ty Chandler, get him going on the ground a little bit more. He only had 6 or 7 carries in the game. It'll be tough for UT. They have a big uphill battle, but I see UT pulling away in this one, 21-14. I don't see them putting up much points really.
Yeah, I think this is the checkerboard game for UT this week. Just kind of sad, but I cannot see the Vols winning. They just did not look good. Did not look good. I mean, I think BYU is going to win this one. Probably, I'm thinking 7-3.
Low scoring. Well, yeah, in the Holy War, back to what Walker said. I mean, BYU could not get in the end zone. I mean, it was embarrassing. I mean, and then they threw 2 pick sixes. But I'm gonna talk about the LSU Texas game. I mean, Grant Delpit on defense coming back is huge for the Tigers. But I mean, I don't know. Sam Ehlinger, he's got that clutch gene, dual threat. Played great last year. Dark horse for Heisman, we'll see. Yeah. But we'll keep it on the down low. But we'll see. Where's the game?
The game is at Texas.
Okay, I don't see the Tigers pulling it off. I mean, they went to 7 overtimes last year against Texas A&M on a bad Texas A&M team. So I don't see him. I don't see the Tigers coming out with this with Coach O.
Yeah, that game's interesting for me too. I honestly like LSU in this game, but I think it will be close. The one question mark for LSU for me is Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I've watched him play, and even though he had a good game last week, there's some about him that I am just not seeing that UT fans, especially shout out to Stephen Mason, it's just been he'll talk your ear off about Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow. I need to see a little bit more on the field from Joe Burrow. We all know about that defense, though.
Yep.
That's why I think Texas is the way they won games last year, and the way they'll have success this year is relying on Sam Ehlinger to be a dual threat QB, get a lot of yards. But I think against this LSU defense, it's not going to be easy. At Texas, I think this will be a low-scoring, old school football game.
Yep.
I'm going 13-10 LSU.
Oof.
What do you think, Woody?
I mean, I like the Tigers just because they're SEC team, but I just can't see him winning at Texas. Sam Ehlinger is just an elite quarterback. He just has something about him that says winning.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't think Joe Burrow can really get it done in Texas. I got the Longhorns 28-14.
Yeah, I don't see Joe Burrow. Reminds me of another SEC quarterback, Felipe Franks. I mean, I hate to put that comparison out there, but neither quarterback can score the ball. I mean, you see LSU and Florida, always historic defenses, I mean, Florida had 10 sacks in the Miami game. I mean, elite defenses every year, but something about that QB position, they can never get right. Burrow, Felipe Franks, you know what you're going to get out of them, and it's not a lot.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say that.
I don't want to get started on Felipe Franks. I thought a lot was going to happen in that Miami game. I could go on for 30 minutes about my disappointment with Felipe Franks. So the biggest game, or at least I think the biggest game, bigger than LSU Texas, is going to be Texas A&M at Clemson. It's I think Texas A&M moved up to number 11 today, and they're playing number 1 Clemson at Clemson. This pick is probably not going to be much respected, but I'm going with Texas A&M here.
Ooh.
For the reasons that I do not think that Clemson is that good at home. I don't think home field advantage makes that big of a difference for them. And if you look at the teams they've played past couple years, they lost to Pitt at home 2 years ago. Wake Forest was close with them last year at home. Syracuse is always close at home.
Yeah,
and
that was a bad one.
After watching the Georgia Tech game, I'm convinced that there's more hype the hype is more about Trevor Lawrence's hair than it is about his play on the field. I think if he had normal hair, he would be getting a lot less attention in the media. He went for 12 of 22, which is like 53%.
Yeah.
2 picks. I think, and against a pretty pitiful Georgia Tech team.
Yeah, I agree.
So it'll be unique to see whether he can turn it on. And then for Texas A&M, I like Kellen Mond. He had a big game against Texas State, and I know it was Texas State, but you could make that argument for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he played that bad against Georgia Tech. This is by far, and it's not even close to Clemson's hardest team they will have to play until they get to the playoff, assuming they make the playoff. I mean, A&M is a 18.5 point underdog, but I think they'll come out and win this game in a high-scoring shootout. I think Clemson's offense is good enough to put up points. I think A&M's defense is good enough just to get one big stop when they need it. I expect a big game out of Kellen Mond. I'm going 42-38 A&M.
Oof. That's bold. I mean, I can't see the Clemson Tigers losing at home, but I mean, they have had a bad history of just not having great games at home, like Syracuse last year. I mean, but I think Trevor Lawrence is going to pull it out. He's going to step up this week. Big game. I see the Tigers 35-31.
Yeah, it's a tough game. The difference between Texas A&M this year, I would say their coach. I mean, they bring in, he's a great coach. They bring in Florida State's coach, and Kellen Mond. I mean, if you remember last year at Kyle Field, what a great atmosphere, by the way.
Yeah.
They barely lost last year at Texas A&M.
Game.
And they returning Kellen Mond. I think he's a very good SEC quarterback. Can put up points. And I agree with you that the hype on Trevor Lawrence is a little bigger than what should be, because Texas A&M lost a very close game last year, and I think to a better Clemson team. I mean, you look at that defensive line. It's just
irreplaceable.
3 first-round picks. So, but there's something about Clemson, man. I mean, that offense. Trevor Lawrence. The hype is a little big, but I think he gets it done. He showed up in the championship game. I think he'll show up this Saturday. And I got the Tigers in this one, probably, say, 31-24.
Yeah, this game's the one I'm most interested in, just mainly to see this quarterback battle. I do want to see more out of Trevor Lawrence. Everybody around is thinking he's the second coming of, Jesus, essentially, that I've been hearing. And everybody was not a fan that I was critiquing his play against Georgia Tech. They're saying it's first game of the year, but it's like his 11th start against a bad Georgia Tech team at home.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see a little bit more. Hope's not lost. He very well could bounce back this week and perform, but you like to see a little more. So next up, we're going to be the NFL starts this upcoming weeks. Starting first game Thursday, our Titans are playing the Cleveland Browns at Cleveland. Thursday night, we got Chicago versus Green Bay. I'm pretty big on Green Bay in this one, simply because Aaron Rodgers starts seasons off on fire.
Yep.
Everybody probably remembers last year when he got hurt in the first quarter of their opener, comes back in the third, throws 3 touchdown passes in the second half. Late game brings him back to win. I do think the Bears are a really good team, though. But I think when it comes down to 3rd and long, and Trubisky has to make a throw, and he can't use his legs, and he can't just give it to one of their running backs, that's what we did not see last year, and that's why they didn't make it. That's why they couldn't advance and take that next step last year. So I hope he is a big year, because I am a fan of Mitchell Trubisky, but I'm gonna need to see something a little bit more for when he has to make a throw, not just sit in the pocket, maybe throw a little dink to Tariq Cohen or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I like the Packers in this game. I think it will be close for a little bit, but I think Rodgers is just too good. I think late in the game he'll pull away.
Yeah, I mean, I love Aaron Rodgers. I'm just going to get to it. Packers are winning this one. I mean,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is too good.
Yeah.
I got the Packers.
I mean, first-year coach Matt LaFleur, from the Titans, actually. But interesting hire, controversial to say the least. I mean, he put up the Titans with the, I think, 25th offense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think little hype's bigger than him as well, just because from that McVay coaching tree.
Mm-hmm.
But my game of the week, I think, will be I mean, New England, Pittsburgh, in New England, Sunday night.
Yeah.
I mean, return to the old Sunday night song. I am excited for that. Big Ben is going to come out, and he's going to show that he's a Hall of Fame quarterback in Foxborough, put up, I think, 38-31. You see the Patriots last few years, obviously dynasty, but that first game of the year, you see the Chiefs with Alex Smith at the helm. I mean,
Yeah.
I could see the Pittsburgh coming this one out, even though they struggle against New England.
I agree with you on this one. I'm big on Pittsburgh in this game too. Tom Brady, if you look at, he's got to start playing worse at some point. Time has not had any factor on him yet. I wish him the best. I think he's only going downhill from here.
I agree.
He's still a great quarterback, and he's still one of the best at his position. But I'm with you, Big Ben. He's got something to prove. He's got to regain control of that locker room. A lot of questions surrounding him after Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell left, and both complained about Roethlisberger's leadership. I think he gets control over this one, and I like Pittsburgh. I like them in a pretty high-scoring game as well, probably similar score to you have. So, and the big game for me, and I'm sure both of you, is this Titans at Browns.
Oof. Yeah.
For me, I'm going with the Titans, but there's a big question mark by it because as a loyal fan, I'm assuming all that needs to go right will go right.
Right.
When usually for the Titans is whatever can go wrong will go wrong.
Yep.
So I think the Browns hype is too much. I think Baker Mayfield, everybody's saying, oh, he's so good, he's so good. He went 6 of 7 as a starter last year, so he lost more games than he won. Their defense was 31st against the run. I think King Henry feasts on Sunday. I like the Titans in a really low-scoring game. We'll control the ball. I'm going with the Titans. And if Mariota can take the step that I don't think he can, but I'm very hopeful that he can, and he can at least put – all we need him to do is put 2 touchdowns on the board. I think the game will be very low-scoring, though. So I think I'll give it 17-14. Titans win late off a late Baker Mayfield mistake. Just some sort of mistake.
I mean, I have no faith in Mariota, to be honest. I kind of want to see Tannehill get some snaps on Sunday, but I mean, Mariota's going to have to turn it around. A lot better year than last year. I mean, if the Titans are going to get a win in this one, but unpopular opinion, I'm going with the Browns in this game. I like Baker. I know not many people do, but I just think there's something to him, and the Browns are just looking a lot better this year, at least better than the Titans. I've got them in a close game, probably like 21-17, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Walker. I feel like the hype is just honestly absurd.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
when you go, I don't know. They had a losing record, and they think they're first seed in the playoffs now.
Yeah.
The Bake Show, I mean, you're right. Accuracy is an issue. But if you look at...
Hello everybody, sorry about the technical difficulties of the last video. The chip ran out of storage, so we had to cut it off a little bit early. I'm now here with Tripper Cap since Woodson was not able to make it this morning. He is the alternate to the associate video coordinator of this show. Tripper, glad you could be here for this.
Thank you. Good to be on here.
So the main thing that we did not highlight in the footage you just saw with Haynes is a preview of this St. Benedict versus NBA game. So it's looking like St. Benedict, they've given up, I think, 80 combined points the last 2 games. They're also 0-2. I'm expecting the offense to be able to get rolling a little bit. Defense has been good all year. So I think the Big Red should be able to come out on top in this one. It's going to be a matter of setting up the offense, which I think against a St. Benedict defense, and it's not a bad defense by any means, but I think compared to some teams we've played, we should have more success against this defense. What do you think, Trip?
Definitely. I think setting up the run game early is key, which will lead to some good passing situations for Tyrone. Just having that balance, and obviously the defense is going to do their job.
Yeah, so everybody needs to come out to this game on Friday at 7 o'clock at Tommy Owen. I'm expecting a huge game from Tyrone personally. I think the offense will be able to get going a lot. I think we'll put up a good amount of points. It should be really interesting. Music is back this week. We will be painting up. So everybody needs to be here at 7 o'clock. We are very confident that we'll be able to bounce back against St. Benedict. Thank you.